PlayStation 5 Professional was announced, and people are dunking on it. Everyone is mocking it. Content creators are making money by creating videos poking fun of it, because this is what the market wants to see. People want to see everyone making fun of Sony, and how could they not? I'm looking at the PS5 Pro, so okay, no exclusives, barely any performance upgrade compared to the previous version. And I guess it has like some AI upscaling so you can play in 8K. But the question is, like, what game would you want to play in 8K? Well, apparently you can play this game where the main character is a brown lady, and get this, she has not one, but two mothers. So if the two mothers get divorced, who gets to pay child support? But, you know, I was generally thinking, why are people mocking these games? Well, why is everyone making fun of these American games where the main focus is on the identity politics? And I realize why that is because it doesn't create interesting characters. There's no interesting backstories. Like, for instance, when you look at the backstory of Superman, like his entire planet was destroyed, and you have that emotional moment where his parents send him off to a new world before they die in the explosion. Or Master Chief from Halo. The thing is that you don't get to see his face. You're always wondering who is behind that helmet. Like, that is the essence of the character. He is mysterious. You look at Batman. His parents got killed in an alleyway. Right? Like they have interesting backstories. My favorite one of all has to be Iron Man. Like, Tony Stark, when Stan Lee created him, Stan Lee thought, like, what is the most unlikable personality type that lives in the world today? And he thought about the rich person that deals with arms trafficking, is an alcoholic, does drugs, is arrogant, and how can we make that into a superhero? So it's an interesting story, right? Like these were interesting characters. And if you look at what Korea is doing, what China is doing, what Japan is doing, they are still maintaining the concept of creating interesting characters. Meanwhile, America just makes statements. It's like, okay, this is a character and they're brown and they have two mothers. And you're like, okay, and no, that's it. What do you mean that's it? No, literally, that is the extent of what our writers are capable of creating. Like, that is the limit of their ability. Look, they tried. I mean, they did their best, but this is... So the reason they're doing this is for marketing. It's like, this character is brown, she's a woman, she is speaking, Mr. President, and she's got two mothers. What do you think? I think it's great. Well, of course you think it's great, because you're not a homophobic bigot, are you? You're not a piece of shit. You're a progressive person. You're a forward-thinking individual. If you said anything otherwise, then you're a bigot. And you don't want to be a bigot, so you want to pay money to the company that produced this. You want to pay your protection tax, so you don't get to be called a bigot, and you get to stick it to the bigots. And this tactic may have worked 4 years ago, but it has been nerfed ever since. And people are just bored of these characters. Because there's nothing interesting. There's nothing there. It's like, okay, well, yeah, this character has two mothers. Great. What can I say? And another interesting thing is the topics that they're covering, right? Like, secrecy is a privilege of the rich stolen from their oppressed. And I keep saying this. They constantly inject what I like to call safe anti-capitalist messages. It's kind of like safe edgy. It's like the type of edgy that you're allowed. You know, when you grew up with South Park or Beavis and Butthead or Jackass, like, those are actually edgy. They went out of their way to upset the establishment, and they would use slurs. I mean, South Park itself, it's a show that has children dying, right? Like, Kenny died every single episode. And they use the most vulgar words possible, and they use slurs, and they talk like sailors. And for that time period, where people were horrified at anything violent on television, seeing a cartoon that, you know, would trigger in the mind of the people at the time, it's like, cartoons are for kids, and you see this cartoon that's hyper violent, and it treats all sorts of bizarre themes. Like that was edgy as fuck, right? But safe edgy is they still curse, but they don't use slurs. So they still curse, but they don't use the N-word. They still curse, but they don't say anything politically incorrect. That's safe edgy. So safe anti-capitalist is the same thing, where they're like, oh, eat the rich. But the ones making this product, you know, the ones that are saying that secrecy is a privilege of the rich are Sony. A multinational, multi-billion-dollar corporation that's creating this product that is allegedly against consumerism, against capitalism. And the interesting part is they never have messages that are genuinely anti-capitalist. Like, you'll never see them going after the bankers. You know, having like the banker as an evil character, you know, like the head of BlackRock to be the evil character in one of these video games. They never go after the Democrats, like a Democrat politician that allegedly speaks on behalf of the poor, but they're gorging themselves on the taxpayer money, and they're working hand in hand with the bankers, and they're using social media in order to control people and stuff. They never actually have like legit anti-capitalist themes in their games. It's just safe anti-capitalist messages. And people know it's fake. People notice it's plastic. And this is why the AAA industry right now in the West is collapsing. Because they're creating products that nobody likes. Like, even the leftists that are anti-capitalist, and this should allegedly satisfy them, even they don't like it. Because there's nothing meaningful here. There's nothing thought-provoking. There's just jack shit, you know? There's nothing thought-provoking about the backstory of the character that has, like, two mothers and she's a brown woman. Like, none of this is being explored. None of this is interesting. It's just mundane. None of this is interesting because, like, oh, yes, the privilege of the rich stolen from the oppressed. Who fucking cares? Who fucking cares? Like, motherfucker, you are the rich. Like, you are spending hundreds of millions of dollars in order to create games that no one wants. This is the quintessential definition of wasteful capitalism. You should make a game about your company, and then maybe someone would play it. And when you look at the ratings, even like the games used to be mediocre and now they're remaking them. So all in all, my thoughts on the PS5 Pro, it's becoming like a piece of jewelry. Completely useless, but you just have it for design. It's kind of like having a watch. Like, you don't really need a watch in 2024 because you can tell the time by looking at your smartphone. And it's the same with the PlayStation 5. Like, you don't actually need it. But it's nice to have it in the room, you know? It looks good when the guests are coming over and they get to see that you have like some sort of gaming setup. So let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.